sits there with tears in her eyes and says, Pastor, I know I'm dying. And she says, and I realize that if I die, I don't know what's going to happen, and I'm afraid. And so I just need to know from you what happens when we die, and what do I need to do to be ready? And I'm sitting here saying, wow, that's a question everybody wants to hear, every pastor wants to hear. I said, Marilyn, there's beautiful things waiting for those who know the Lord. And I explained salvation very plainly to her. And I said, Marilyn, is this what you want? Do you want to be saved today? And she nodded her head enthusiastically. She was bawling and laughing at the same time. She says, yes, Pastor, this is what I want. And right there, I had her kneel at the praying altar, and I led her in the prayer of salvation, which I never heard someone pray like she prayed it, with lifting her voice and hands and crying out in tears every word, asked the Lord to save her. And then I said, Marilyn, I said, we don't have a whole lot of time, but I just feel the baptistry. You want to get baptized? And she says, yes, Pastor, but I want to get baptized on Sunday so that everybody can come see me get baptized. I said, well, this was Saturday. I said, well, let's baptize you tomorrow. Marilyn came to church, and she had an entourage of people come to see her get baptized. I baptized Marilyn. It's a joyful thing. She's laughing and praising God coming out of the baptistry. That Monday, she went downhill. She was put in the hospital. She's in the hospital for that week, and she's rapidly decaying. On the next Sunday, I said, you know what? Marilyn would be in church because she just got saved, but she can't be here. So instead of Sunday night service, let's all go to the hospital and take church to Marilyn. So we took a group of people, flooded her room. Her son was by her side. We had church. We sang songs. I remember Julian stood at the edge of her bed and sang out loud, and she just looked down and smiled and lifted her hands, watching him worship. That's my younger son. And we preached and prayed for her, and it was a beautiful worship service. The next day, Marilyn died. I did her funeral the next week. It was packed because everybody went to Ruby's. Everyone knew Marilyn, and all of the young people from the high school got haircuts there. We had standing room only and overflow in the foyer. You came to hear see Marilyn's funeral at our church. And I shared what happened. And I told them about Marilyn's salvation experience. And I was bold enough to say, you can do the same thing. You can do what Marilyn did. You can join her in heaven one day.